into basketball. Now, I know basketballers are very strict. I have been once a basketballer when I was in college, when I was in primary school, when I was in high school. When work came in, money was full in my pockets. I could not jump up high. I used to jump in high school. So now basketballers tend not to want to speak about football. But as a tradition in this particular show, they have to. Now, this afternoon, I'm joined by the Group Head of Marketing and Communications, I&M Bank, Mary Githinji. Karibu sana.
Asante sana tu.
Most people are wondering, anachezanga kama point guard. Yeah. If you go to her social media platforms and I&M, you'll see indeed she plays some very good basketball. Am I lying, Mary, or not? I'll put you on the spot.
Thank you for the prop-up. I didn't know you played basketball.
I played basketball at DStv University when still my knees were able to jump. Yeah, right now I cannot even jump beyond Bush Wamukota. The power forward of Nairobi City Thunder is here with us. Bush, Tom, Wamukota, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Karibu sana. I was happy to host you. Be part, of course, your event last time out, I&M and Nairobi City Thunder.
Yeah,
Karibu sana, and I'm glad you've honored the call, of course, to come here on TV 47. Karibu sana. Anytime. And then we have Marcel Awori, the Chief of Staff at Nairobi City Thunder. Now, Marcel Awori, later on I'll be asking him on this show. He's been very strategic about trying to ensure Nairobi City Thunder plays Oklahoma City Thunder. Marcel will be here to clear that air, how far you are with those negotiations. But of course, first of all, let's just get into it. Now, Nairobi City Thunder, for the rest of this season in the Kenya Basketball Federation Premier League, they are sorted. They are playing as if they are possessed. Last weekend, a triple header. Anu pap, Wolfpack pap, 3. Yesterday, Dumas, I&M and NCT. 10 million Kenya shillings for the rest of the season. Mary, what did you see that we didn't see?
I saw potential. Yes. I saw a future, but yes, we did give them new fuel injection into already a fast-running machine. But yes, a few weeks ago, we made a big announcement that we will be partnering with Nairobi City Thunder as the official banking partner, as they are platinum sponsor, not just because of a sponsorship, but because of two brilliant brands coming together. NCT, they're already making miles in BAL, 2-time champions in the league. I&M, for 5 years, we've become one of the leading top tier 1 bank. So two brilliant minds are coming together to build a future for sports.
I'll come to you later to tell why basketball, why not tennis, why not rugby, why basketball? And of course, you're making a very huge, bold step in sports. That, of course, you'll share with us a little bit later. Bush, yesterday, Derrick Ogechi was showing off. Kwani allowance ya I&M ilifika mbele yenyu hapa kulikuwaje? How to give yesterday?
No, it's just every time you come to a Thunder game, you understand, you know what to expect. A lot of dedication, a lot of discipline, a lot of passion on the court. Very fun for the supporters that come to watch us. So, you always expect that when you come to an NCT game. So if you haven't been to an NCT game, you're missing out on big time, on great value and great basketball. So, we are always thankful and always appreciative of our fans, but then also, with partnerships like I&M, it just shows appreciation for the hard work that we are putting in on the court as players, and to be recognized by such a reputable organization such as I&M, to be recognized for our efforts and what all we are doing on the court. It's an amazing thing to feel as players and as an ecosystem. So, we kazi yetu ni kurudisha tu mkono, so we just do what, we are enabled to do by, such partnerships and organization.
Well done. Of course, yesterday, of course, you're still, I'm looking at 2023, 2024, Marcel, 2025, 2024, 2025, and beaten the first Kenyan team ever to really qualify and, of course, represent the country at the Basketball Africa League. This season, the same thing. Next season, you're eyeing almost, of course, going for the same and beyond. And I'm looking, not only just I&M will come on board, I'm looking at this other organization, Next Forward. This other, of course, giving opportunity to players. Besides playing, they are learning. I think, is it Adera, or is it Shavanga as well, who are actually benefiting from, I think, scholarships from Nextford. NCT, well done on changing the face of basketball. I mean, what is that unique thing that you actually injected into the basketball, in Kenya?
I mean, we're building a commercially viable professional sports organization, and by doing so, we have to be building something that's sustainable long term, and with the partners that have come on board to support us, that allows us to create a sustainable vehicle to scale the sport of basketball and to empower our players in different ways. So at NCT, we're very intentional about the partners that we bring on board. We want to match Kenyan excellence with Kenyan excellence, or excellence from abroad where applicable. And with the partnership with INM, that's a testament to that exactly. And you've mentioned sponsorships with groups such as Nextford University are there to empower our players, but similarly to the relationship we have now with INM, to empower our players financially, to increase the financial literacy amongst our players. We have a very intentional outlook on the responsibility that we have as an organization to our players, that to empower them as they are professional athletes and professional basketball players, but also to enable them and empower them beyond their time at NCT. Sports is a very fluid space. Teams can change year in, year out, but we are very proud of the fact that anyone that is ever a part of the NCT family will remain a part of that family in perpetuity, and by being a part of the family, we enable them to be as successful as possible in any walk of life, but obviously with the first focus being on the basketball court.
Yeah, and of course, bring in Mary. Mary, it's basketball. I was requesting you to tell us why basketball, why not rugby, and of course, does basketball now start a journey of sports for I&M, or how are you looking at? Is it NCT alone? Will you go to the Dumas? Will you go to Eldonets? Will you go to the Wolfpack? Will you go? How are you seeing this? And of course, you mentioned that this particular partnership is renewable after the end of the season. Of course, I'm quoting the words of your CEO.
Yes. So thank you, Tony, for that. And for us, the journey has just begun. We talk about I&M brand promise. Yes. Our promise is to be on our customer side. We do that very well on the financial side. Whether, Nisari, free bank to M-Pesa, investment solutions. And we've extended that into the sports space because, one, basketball is the fastest growing sport in Africa. It is now the most watched sport in Kenya. So there's no shortage of talent. What we as brands need to do is come in and put in the right investment into the game. And NCT, obviously, being the elite team, they are already putting Kenya, putting us in the global map. And for us, the intention is long term. Yes, to extend the partnership with NCT beyond even this season, but also to start conversations, at a federation level. Because we know that there's a whole ecosystem into sports, not just basketball, that is built around and should be invested in. So when you talk to the federation, then you're speaking to the broader league. There's government here. We're also looking at the businesses that thrive because of sport. And how do we empower those? We're looking at the young, aspiring basketball players who look at Bush here and are thinking, what's my pathway to being an elite player? And for us coming in and putting in this sponsorship, then it goes beyond logos and just our brand name appearing. It is looking with that foresight that there's another generation that's coming that will require us to step up as brands and make sure that we're putting the right structures, the right governance into the sport so that then it can grow. Basketball is just the start. And our invitation is to bring on other brands to do the same.
That's very key. You've answered my other question I wanted to ask, but of course, let me get to Bush. Bush, right now I think we had invited the likes of Ogechi and Garang and Dera and Shavanga, but since morning, they were at the University of Nairobi, playing 3x3.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so I'd invited them, but Bush absconded duty. But of course, Bush, I'm bringing this particular question because not only is NCT really involved just in playing basketball and showing their talent in basketball, but beyond that, you involve yourself in nurturing talent. I'm sure, of course, that Marcel will answer it a little bit later in depth. But you just not only just show us your talent and, you know, win leagues, but there's something else you do in the community, growing the sport, teaching the young ones, giving them, and that's why I&M actually came to, you know, to NCT, because there are structures not only just to show talent, but they're growing talent.
Yeah, definitely. There are a lot of community programs because in sports, you understand, in sports, you only can play for so long. Kama umesema magoti yako.
Hey, magoti za easy, he'll talk a lot.
But you know, like what we can do as an organization or as players who are currently playing is to kind of show the path. You understand? Like we have a lot of potential, like with the younger generation coming through and everything. You understand? So partnerships like this show that there's actually light at the end of the tunnel. You understand? It doesn't matter where you come from. Like, for example, I grew up in Bungoma. Like, nobody made it from basketball coming from over there. But at the same time, just knowing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and me being able to be in the platform that I'm in and being with Nairobi City Thunder and having, you know, saying like the younger generation see what I can be able to achieve coming from that situation where I came from, you understand? It builds this type of drive in the upcoming generation, in that, you know what I'm saying, like it's possible for you to even make it, you know what I'm saying, like in your sport or in your field, in whatever you do, you understand? So building these values of discipline and building the values of teamwork and everything is the same thing that I&M stands for, you understand? So these type of values is what we are trying to instill into the next generation with what we are doing with this type of partnerships. And
of course, Marcel, of course, carrying on from that, the investment that I&M has given, I mean, injected into NCT. I was listening to, I think it was you, or no, it was the CEO, the founder, or co-founder, Colin Rossumson, and saying that that, of course, will assist in terms of bolstering Nairobi City Thunder. He's an acquisition, of course, not maybe from the 10 million you received, but I can imagine the other acquisitions you can have, like the Bush or Mkochas. For someone who's watching, a follower of Nairobi City Thunder, any players you're getting from Sudan, USA, South Africa, or Mexico?
Mexico.
No, I mean, the support that we're getting from I&M is, it enables us to do what we've been doing for the past few years, and running a professional sports team the way it's supposed to be run. And exactly like Bush has said, we are also very entrenched in the community, and we're not shy about the fact that, exactly like Bush has said, there's a lifespan that all players will have. And if you don't make the investment at the community level and at the grassroots youth level, you're not going to create that same sustainable product that I mentioned you have to build. And so, to us, as long as we're enabling young Kenyans and young Africans to see that light at the end of the tunnel, then we're happy and we feel like we've done our job. And partnerships like this with I&M enable us to continue to do those things. Running a professional sports team is not easy.
Okay, Awori, I think let's sort something about your microphone. Just hold on to that point, please. Sorry to interrupt you, Marcel. I think your sound, it's very important. You're making a very important point, and someone has to listen to that. We'll just sort it out. Don't worry. Our engineer is just on his way. But let me bring in Mary. If you're just joining us, we have the national, that is the Nairobi City Thunder. These are the champions of basketball in our region, not only in Nairobi, in Kenya, in the region. Nairobi City Thunder are the cream de la cream in basketball. And that's why they're here, to share their journey, where they are so far, because recently, of course, a huge sponsorship injection was, of course, made to this particular team. And that's why we're discussing about that. And we are doing this kind of discussion to encourage other corporates to come on board. Mary, and of course, that's why we have the head of marketing and communication, I&M Bank Group, Mary Githinji here. Mary, recently, of course, at the event that I was humbled to host at the Atrium headquarters at First Avenue Parklands in Nairobi, your group executive director looks like someone, of course, who is very sporty and who loves basketball. The son looks like they love basketball. The CEO Venyanaka, I think there's a gym upstairs. Someone does who likes love basketball. So share with us, of course, that chemistry in the top leadership at I&M that actually caused this particular relationship to be established, because it looks like corporates have to start having basketballers in the top leadership to inject. And I'm just on a light note, Mary.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. And I think everybody at I&M now is eating, breathing
yes.
basketball, which is the idea, which is what we wanted. But it goes beyond just sponsoring the game. And, you know, I think what they see also is that shared value where sports and brands coexist. In the sense that, well, brands gain visibility, you know, they get to connect better with their consumers. The sport then grows and builds a whole economy. There's an economy around sports.
Huge.
Yeah. So when you think about, you know, the young man that Bush was referring to, having a clear pathway that gets them to BAL, gets them to the NBA. Yeah. Through that journey, as I&M, we walk with them, build their financial literacy, their financial capability. As I&M, we become their investors, you know, whether it's wealth management. We find a lot of those concerns when sportsmen get the global stage, and there are a lot of gaps in financial management. And for us, you know, success will look like how many youth have we created pathways for to compete at a global scale. And that's social responsibility, shared value. Yeah, so there's a lot more to it than, you know, just plastering logos and doing activations. We will be activating, obviously, during the games as they go along. And, you know, we're telling all our consumers, all our customers, you know, open an account with I&M on our OTG app. It's 2 minutes at most. And then you get to come and experience what NCT is. But also, it starts to open the eyes of the Kenyan consumer, the African consumer, as to the potential that basketball has. We see a lot of that in athletics. Kenya is known for athletics. Imagine a world where we are also known for basketball at that scale. And that's the ambition.
I'm happy to hear about ambition. And Bush, of course, just before I come to Marcel, just carrying on from Mary, and of course, looking at, you say, sports has a lifespan. You've traveled across the world, Bush. You are a household name. You've been to Rwanda. You've been everywhere in basketball. Some of the top leagues in Africa as well. Someone who's watching and they're wondering, of course, how do I keep myself relevant before becoming a professional or semi-professional, and after? Because there has to be a connection, and that's why, of course, the bank is coming in. And I understand that day when you're receiving sponsorship, all of you, CEO aliwakalisha kwa room moja, akawaambia hivi ndo tunafanya financial literacy on a light note. But of course, that's what's needed for any sports person to grow, of course, because before, after, you know, sports has a shelf life as well.
Definitely. You know, so that's a major area in a lot of sports people's lives. You understand, like what the type of investment that you make when you are while you're still young and still earning your money.
Yes.
You understand, like these type of financial literacy classes and this type of financial institution being able to actually guide you through the whole process of, like, you know, say, like what you should and what you should not do. You know, say it's very important, even especially even for the upcoming generation, because the earlier you learn this type of stuff, the better you become at it. You know, say you will make mistakes along the way and you will stumble here and there, but then always that the lessons that you had before that always stick with you. You understand? So with these type of partnerships and these types of having these types of people in your corner, it's always an amazing thing for you as an athlete, because with the shelf life, you know, say, of an athlete, you know, say you can only be going for so long. You understand? And then, like, there's also life after athletics. There's also life after sports. You understand? And for you to be able to stay within the sport, doing what you love, and have a life after the sport, you know, say there's a whole dynamic to sport that people always think. People always think it's just about working hard, getting to pro, and then take your money and live well in retirement. You understand? But there's way more to that. You know what I'm saying? There's sports science, there's sports finance, there's sports education. There's a whole dynamic of sports where you can venture into when you're done playing, rather than just just leaving the sport and not impacting the next generation. I think that's a little bit selfish on to a certain level, you understand? Because all this experience that I've learned over the years, all this stuff that I still should be able to be within the sport so that the next generation that are coming in to become the players, I'm able to even just impact my 2 cents or my little knowledge that I have about what actually happens in the field of what we are doing. So like there's more dynamic to sports rather than just being a professional sports person. There's other avenues that you can take, whether it's getting into medicine or finance or anything like this, you understand? So there's a big dynamic. So other corporates, you know, you can feel free to actually involve yourself in the sport and actually teach the upcoming generation about other avenues of sports other than just becoming a professional player.
Indeed. Of course, Marcel, as we come to the tail end, of course, we interrupted you. We are sorry for that interruption. However, someone who's watching Nairobi City Thunder, they're a very successful story on and off the field. And they want to be, of course, they want to be like Bush. They want to be like Ogechi. They want to be like Ariel or Carl, who recently won a BAL Ubuntu award, of course, for the work he does on and off the pitch. So what is this pathway? How can this Bungoma, these other Bungoma people of Bush join NCT or be part of the ecosystem of Nairobi City Thunder?
Yeah, I mean, everything that we do, as I said, we're looking to empower the community and empower the next generation. And so we're intentional about investing into community programs that empower the next generation and that continue to keep them engaged in basketball. In terms of a direct answer for how you could get involved with Nairobi City Thunder, I think the reality is if you remain disciplined and remain involved with the sport, we will find you if you deserve the opportunity. And even if we don't necessarily find you, everything that we're doing in the basketball ecosystem is with the goal of seeing other groups replicated locally and around the continent. We want to invite other corporates, obviously, to come in and support us, but to support the entire ecosystem so that there's a collective empowerment of the entire basketball community around the country. Because the more that basketball develops, the more interest that there will be, the easier it becomes for kids to engage with the sport, because there suddenly are more idols and more people that they can look up to, that they can relate to, that actually motivate them to begin taking the sport seriously to that extent. And there's varying outcomes, but I think I'm a massive advocate of the fact that there is never a negative outcome from sport, and the shelf life of one's career varies tremendously, and it's a part of it is ultimately actually even luck. But if you remain disciplined and you use sports to your advantage, the amount of opportunities that can be derived through sports are endless. And I think for even a lot of our players that are currently playing for Nairobi City Thunder, to have told them that the opportunity we are now presenting as Nairobi City Thunder to play locally was coming when it was going to come, I'm sure a lot of them would have been skeptical. And even more so with a lot of different experiences that I'm sure the likes of Bush and teammates have had. But that's just because sports has such a unique ability to unite people and to draw a crowd, and it's an extremely strong convening factor. Now, once you've brought people into those spaces, you can utilize that convening factor to educate, empower, and so on and so forth. And that's the same way that you can utilize sports to just unlock opportunities that may not have necessarily been as accessible before you were playing them.
Indeed. Just before I ask Mary why a huge proportion of ladies love basketball compared to men, that statistic can be proven in the numbers that we watch in the games. Marcel, Oklahoma City Thunder in 1 minute. I had you somewhere. So when are you taking Bush? Either they are coming or we are going.
Yeah, we'll see. The negotiations still need to begin, but you know, I said that because it's what we aspire to do, and it's a way to relay the message to everyone that's following what we're doing with Nairobi City Thunder to understand that we are only getting started. This is the tip of the iceberg, and we have global ambitions. And if we were not setting the goals to those levels, then we'd be selling ourselves short. We know that there is the opportunity to scale to those levels, and that's what I kind of have earmarked and set out as being when I feel like we will really have made some serious noise when that game happens. But even when that game happens, I'm sure there'll be the next milestone that we're eyeing up at that point.
Very true. Just before Mary speaks, because due to protocol, Bush, you have something to say in 20 seconds before I lock you out, because once Mary signs out, the show is over. You have 30 seconds.
All I would just like to say is we have a platform to grow the sport in the country, and let it not be just I&M or not just, we need more. It takes the whole community for us to be able to grow. You understand? We have a lot of teams, we have a lot of programs that are coming up to help the younger generation and the sport to grow in the country. It's the largest growing fan base in the country and in Africa in general. So take this opportunity just to call on corporates, like, let's support the sport, let's support the ecosystem, and we can all grow in exponentially.
Very true indeed. Thank you, Bush.
Thank you.
Mary, I'm sure you went to NCT because they respect gender equality.
Yes.
However, the games in the stadiums don't respect gender equality because there are more ladies. And you just speak to that as in 30 seconds as you wind up.
No, thank you, Tony. And I think I'll echo what both Bush and Marcel have spoken to. Sports is a unifying factor that nothing else does. What if we took that and built enterprises out of that and put Kenya on the map? And not just Kenya, but also look at how do we build those structures and empower communities through sport. I&M, we say, our ambition is to be East Africa's leading financial partner for growth. And not just East Africa, but also across Africa. We talk about being on our customer side, and it doesn't matter whether you're in sports, whether you're in creative economy. We are that partner.
Yes.
And we are putting our mouth where our
body is.
Everything is so well.
Your mouth is, yes.
And, our rallying call is together we can build something out of basketball. Indeed. It's the fastest growing sport. The talent is there.
True.
The infrastructure is what we need. And if you're looking for a partner that can do that for you, then I&M is the place to go.
All right. Head of Marketing and Communications Group at I&M Bank, Mary Githinji, thank you very much.
Asante, Tony.
The Chief of Staff at Nairobi City Thunder, Marcel Awori, thank you, of course, for being with us.
Thank you.
And the power forward, the big forward, the forward himself, Nairobi City Thunder, Tom Bush Wamokota, thank you for making really time to be here with us. We appreciate it. And the entire NCT ecosystem and for fraternity and I&M, asanteni sana, and Kirota asante, Dennis Murimi asante, and the entire I&M who welcomed me at Otriam, asanteni sana. I was welcomed very much. I will not mention names because I'll be singled out. But thank you, of course, for coming to this particular show. And thank you, of course, for also making time to share your story about NCT and I&M. We are looking forward, of course, to a great season. And, of course, the next season and BAL. This is Sports Extravaganza. My name is Tony Kwalanda. We are taking a very short break.